Hello everyone, it's Larika here. It's that time of the month again. We are talking about the Candy Book Reading Challenge on both on here on YouTube and on Storygraph. I must say that this year I'm absolutely getting back into my reading. I am so happy about that. It's been really odd this last few years, but I just been unable to focus on reading. I would read maybe a page or two and then stop and just I don't know what it is, but I just could not pay attention long enough. And since I started this challenge, I've really picked up reading again. I mean, I was one of those kids that that at night I would have the torch out and lie and read through the night, keeping one ear open if my mum came to check up on me. So next day in school, super tired, but because I couldn't put the book down. So I have always been reading, so it's really good to pick that up. So thank you, Candy, for the motivation for me to get back into reading. So this month I read the April prompt, and it is called April Showers. I'm just going to read this. Read a book that features the weather. So it has to do with the weather or some sort of Gothic book, because there's always a bit of weather in that as well, right? So I chose The Seven Gothic Tales by Isak Dinesen, who also writes as Karen, well, she writes as Isak Dinesen, but her real name is Karen Blixen. She is a Danish author, just across from the bridge in Sweden. She used to live. It's a as you can see, Seven Gothic Tales. So it's a short story book, and I read two of them. I didn't read the whole book this month. The one is The Old Chevalier, and the other one was the Deluge or Delag, I don't know, at Norderney. So I like Isak Dinesen's work because she writes very descriptively. Like, I love how she writes her books about, you feel like you're in that space. And not much happens in her books. It's more of describing the space and the people, a little bit of what the people are feeling inside. So I love that kind of writing, to read that. So that's why I really enjoy her work. She also wrote Babette's Feast, which is one of my favorite stories. I also watched a movie, I think it came out in the 80s, black and white, in Danish, and it's one of my favorite movies. So really good. Look it up, Babette's Feast. Fantastic movie that, and the story is just as good. So yeah, I like Isak Dinesen, and I read two of the seven, and I feel quite chuffed with myself for reading two of the seven. So that's one down. So that was all that I had on the list for Candy, but I found this Murakami book that I had on my Kindle. The Vanishing Elephant. It's part of a short story collection. And I just had to read it because I have never read it, and I know it's been out for many years. I love Murakami. That's one of my other favorite authors. He's a genius with his stories and the way he describes things and his books. It's really, yeah. So the story is a little bit about this elephant, of course, that disappears. It disappears from this area where he's kept with his caretaker, and both of them just suddenly disappears. And then we have follow this story from the perspective of a young man that was watching this elephant, looking at this elephant and his caretaker, just out of interest. And so we hear his point of view of this whole event that happened. Nobody knows what happened. Not even he knows, but he has some theories. And the thing for me about Murakami is that I like how his characters are such little bit off-center. They're always on the edge of the society. They feel very like loners, kind of like, not really in the midst of what is going on. Like they out of time and out of place in the world. And I really love that. His books are so beautiful. So that The Vanishing Elephant, I think it's called, it really is a great, great book. So yeah, that's the story, I mean. So I read that one. And I've also picked up a book. It's called Dear Reader, The Comfort and Joy of Books by Kathy Rentz Zen Brink. That's how it looks. She wrote this book about books, right? As it says. And I made a lot of marks here because I highlighted all the books that I would either want to read or have read that she referenced to in this book. It's really beautiful. She is a bookseller. She was a bookseller for many years. She worked at all different places in London, bookstores, some Waterstones, Harrods, all over the place. And she wrote this book about all the books that played a role in her life at different times of her life. And it's funny, it's sad, it's beautiful. So really nice read. I really just enjoyed reading it. It just made me feel good. So that was another book I did for April. And I can recommend it if you like to know about other books and books that people are reading. And it's not as serious. Sometimes those kind of books refer to very serious classics, which is great. I read those books too. But this one was fun. It was just normal, regular books, like mass market fiction books, which are such fun to read. I think sometimes we tend to get so serious about reading that we only pick up the big serious books. So it's good to read the books that are just fun to read and enjoyment in the story and in the words that the author puts together. So then I also picked up a book. I started with it. It's a bit heavy, this one. It's called The Alphabet versus the Goddess, The Conflict Between Word and Image. And it's written by Leonard Shlain. There it is. See it? Beautiful cover with this woman, the goddess, I guess. So I don't know if you can see, there is like little letters all around. Beautiful cover. Anyway, I bought this book at a friend of mine's store here in Skåne, southern Sweden. It's called Häxans Hus. I'll type it out for you. And she sells all types of witchy and spiritual things. Amazing lady, Linda, wonderful person. So if you are ever in Skåne, go look her up and her store, because it's just beautiful. So I got this book there, and I started reading it. It's really, really interesting, but my little brain's not always can't handle these big concepts, but it's super good. So it talks about how letters, words, sentences, our brain thinks and sees them differently than images. So when I sit here where I look out now and I see the sky and the tree and the building opposite, I see it all in one big immediately. And my eye can catch a bird flying by, and it catches everything in one concept, one idea. But then when we look at words and sentences, we see, like, first we have to see the lines that form a letter. The letters form the words form the sentences, the paragraphs, and then it forms maybe a book or an article or a letter that you write out. So our brain looks at this, has to think about this slightly differently, because with this you only see that thing. You don't see the whole book. You don't pick up the book and you see the whole book or the whole story in one go. You only see the words or the letters as you read them, right? So that means that our brain thinks a bit differently to that. And he relates it to the masculine and feminine. I'm going in deeply now. We'll see if you listen, if you're interested. Anyway, the brain, he says, has obviously the male and the female parts. And the male parts are more into the maybe the reading of words and letters, whereas the female is more on the imagery side. But it doesn't mean men are like that and women are like that. It's that two parts inside our brains, right? We all have male, female in ourselves. So so basically that's it. I probably butchered his whole idea, but that's the concept of it, and I'm really enjoying it. Just early in it, but it's tricksy. And then for May, if I'm just going to take a sip of water, it feels like everybody's sick at the moment. Everybody's got like a nose, throat thing going on around me. So we have May, which is going to be Gate May. Read a book with a gate or portal or transition. So coming of age story, or a book that has a gate on the cover or maybe in the name, so title. So I picked a book because there's a story behind this author, so I will get into it, but the book is called Light a Penny Candle, and it's written by Maeve Binchy, which is an Irish author. Beautiful cover. I mean, look at that woman looking out at in the distance with the ocean. Oh, beautiful. So I already started it because it's such a thick book. I was worried I wouldn't be able to read it in a month. It has a bit of a coming of age vibe. That's why I chose it for May. So this author, years ago when I was still living in London, I went to see a psychic, and in Covent Garden, in a shop there. And one of the things she told me many things, I was blown away. But one of the things she told me, excuse me, is she said she just wants to say Maeve Binchy. And I'm like, what is that? I'd never even heard of her. She's like, it's an author. She thinks she's Irish, and there's some connection with me. She doesn't know because she knew I wrote. She doesn't know if Maeve Binchy I write like her or what it is, but I should remember Maeve Binchy. And I was like thinking, wow, whatever, you can't get everything right. I have no idea. I went to look up Maeve Binchy, and she didn't write the kind of books that I would be interested in reading. I was very serious about my writing then. So I thought, well, it's okay. Kind of forgot about it. And then when I finished my novel, No Flowers on the Graves, my writing tutor, one of them, said to me I should send it to this literary agent in London, because she thinks it would be, she likes the book. So I sent it to this literary agent, and the literary agent contacted me, and she said she absolutely loves the book. She wants to work with me. So we signed a contract, we did everything. But during that time, I researched this agent. I first wanted to know who she was, right? And she was the agent of who? Maeve Binchy. So I had the same agent as her, and then it came back to me, this psychic that I went to see is the same woman. Oh my gosh. Maeve Binchy. Yeah. So that was my connection, right? So I was I signed very quickly because I thought that was a good thing. We worked together for a few years, but in the end, I decided to go the self-publishing book. So we amicably ended the contract. And yeah, so now I'm just publishing for myself. And then, so that's a book I want to read for May. It's a thick book. I'm actually was been thinking, I'm a bit concerned because June is called Juicy June. Read a big juicy book. And I'm thinking I should have maybe saved this book for the Juicy June situation, because I don't think I have it in me to read two thick books like that in a row. But we'll see. I'll figure something out. I have a book on there which is a non-fiction, so maybe I will just do a non-fiction bits and pieces of it. I don't know. I'll see. Cheat a little. You're allowed. But one more thing I want to show you is, it was my birthday this month, April. I'm an Aries, little Aries. And one of my friends from Australia, Evie, she also has a YouTube channel. That's how I met her. I'll link below her name. She sent me this book that she made, this journal. Look at that. Oh my gosh, isn't that just stunning? It's the most beautiful, beautiful thing, and it has this. So I haven't started in it yet because it's still too pretty. I'm still admiring it. She made this herself. It's just so beautiful. Look at the notes paper in there, and I mean, oh, it's absolutely stunning with little. I know she makes all these things, so it's all these things in it. So yeah, I just wanted to share because it was so thoughtful and so special. So I will start journaling in here. Thank you, Evie. And yeah, that's my discussion about my books now. Yeah, I had a good reading month, and I'm looking forward to the next reading month. So I'm just now in my flow. I found my reading flow again. So I'm very, very happy about that. So check out this reading challenge if you want to get into reading. I'm sure you don't have to start at January. You can drop in anytime you like. And tell me if you know any of these books that I've read, if you've read them, what do you think about them, and what's in your reading, on your reading desk or couch or wherever you read. What are you reading at the moment? I'm always curious. So have a wonderful rest of the day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.